Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements. And in this video, we are going to be reviewing Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. Now this is the fourth and final film from what I like to call the Scooby-Doo golden age of animated movies, where they really tapped into the horror vibe and had a bit more of an edgy animation style. Now similarly to The Witch's Ghost, the studio did interfere a little bit and didn't give the production company full creative control like they did with Alien Invaders and with the brilliant Zombie Island. But that being said, it is still one of the better Scooby-Doo animation movies, and even had an accompanying game going alongside the movie release. So it is one to watch if you haven't seen it already, and I'm going to be breaking it down for you in this movie review. So the premise of this movie is pretty radical in general, let alone for a Scooby-Doo movie, which is just absolutely awesome. So two IT students and their professor have created a laser beam that can turn things from the real world into the digital computer video game world. But this can also work vice versa, so things from the digital world can come into the real world. And this happens with something called the Phantom Virus, which is a virus that was created in the game. You don't know who did this in the beginning at least, but then this virus in the game has come into the real world and is causing absolute chaos. The gang then visit this particular college, and after a brief run-in with the Phantom Virus in the college campus, they then get sucked into the digital world along with the Phantom Virus and have to complete 10 levels in the game to come back into the real world. But if they die in the digital world, then they also die in the real world. So the stakes are really, really high, and the gang have to investigate who created the Phantom Virus, who sucked them into the digital world, and they also have to work with their digital selves to help defeat the virus, to complete the levels, come back into the real world. So the stakes are really, really high in this movie, and from a storyline point of view, it is absolutely awesome. So from a cast and characters point of view, like I said before, I really like the more horror aspect in this film, and you can really feel the jeopardy for all of these different characters, especially when they're in the digital world and they can actually die in the digital world as well. It's absolutely crazy because they're going through 10 different worlds, from an Egyptian world to the Amazon world to the Roman world to an amusement park. Is absolutely brilliant in terms of all of the things that they have to do, and from a cast and characters point of view, they're absolutely depicted really, really well. So the main gang have to solve the mystery, defeat the Phantom Virus, and work with their digital selves to complete the levels as well. It's also Grey DeLisle's first introduction as the role of Daphne after the first actress tragically passed away. We also have the final performance as BJ Ward as Velma as well. She did a brilliant job. The preceding actors also did a really, really great job, but I feel like in this golden age of Scooby-Doo movies, BJ Ward did an absolutely brilliant job. It's also the final performance of Scott Innes as the Shaggy Rogers and Scooby-Doo characters as well. So from a monumental final actors point of view and introduction actor point of view as well, is really, really great. We also have the Professor in this film as well, and he looks a lot like a typical Marvel DC 90s animation style character, which is absolutely brilliant. The Phantom Virus is really, really cool as well. I do think they could have made this character a little bit more evil, but that being said, he does put the gang in a lot of crazy situations in the real world and in the digital world. They also have to work with their digital selves, so it was really nice to kind of see the older costumes for the different characters and seeing the combination of these two little groups working together, which was absolutely brilliant. And I really like the actual mystery of the film as well, in terms of who is the person that created the virus and who is the person that has zapped the Scooby-Doo characters into the world. And it's really, really interesting actually, as it could really have been any four of the characters that are in the lineup. So from a cast and characters point of view, overall, Cyber Chase is absolutely brilliant. So in terms of the visuals, like I said, I absolutely love this animation style that they applied to this show. It is a little bit dated when you watch it now, but that being said, it still works so well and is really reminiscent to the 90s Marvel Spider-Man show and the X-Men show. Actually, this studio then went on to produce X-Men Evolution, which also has a brilliant animation style. So I just feel like this studio did such a great job for this golden age of Scooby-Doo films, as they look so good. And it's just such a shame that this is the last time that we get to see this animation style. That being said, I'm sure the studio heard what everyone was saying, and this is why in Mystery Incorporated they definitely had that kind of horror flavour to that particular TV show. But as far as this film goes, the visuals are absolutely brilliant. So from a comparison point of view, I absolutely love Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. Like I said before, it's definitely part of Scooby-Doo's golden age of the brilliant 4 films. You know, out of them, I do think Zombie Island is still the best one. That's where the studio had complete creative control and definitely tapped into the more darker, horror-based aspect to it. But you know, that being said, this one is a little bit more sci-fi, but still has horror aspects in it. The stakes are really, really high, and in terms of comparisons, I feel like a lot of the preceding movies definitely don't live up to the golden age level. So from a comparison point of view, Cyber Chase is also absolutely wicked. So overall, I'm sure you can tell I absolutely love Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. I really like the fact that they tapped into horror. They had a bit of more dark aspects to it. They had a video game here as well that was also linked to an actual video game that people can play after watching the movie. So I thought from a merchandise point of view, really, really clever. I really like that they went into a digital world, a little bit like Digimon, but this is Scooby-Doo's version of that. And so for all of those reasons, I have to give this movie a solid 7 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.